Tonight on To The Point, immigration uncertainty.
The fear of family separation is really having a significant impact.
As President-elect Donald Trump prepares to take office, elected leaders and immigration advocates go on the record what they think could happen over the next 4 years. Wildfire recovery. Tonight, as firefighters make progress in Los Angeles, how Sacramento is taking action to help fire survivors.
We will recover, we will rebuild, and we will come back stronger than ever.
Plus, claims circulating about California's inmate firefighters. Tonight, we verify how much they're paid. And later, a local police department's warning about car-related crimes.
It's not a one-person job.
What you can do to protect your car. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us on To The Point. I'm Alex Bell. And tonight, the nation is preparing for the Trump transition. Come Monday, Donald Trump will become president yet again. The president-elect has made many sweeping declarations about what he hopes to do once he's back in office. They include mass deportations, closing the border, and ending birthright citizenship, claims that have put many Californians on edge. And over the past several weeks, ABC 10's Jeannie Nguyen has been talking to our representatives in Congress, getting their stances on the record regarding immigration, and also talking to people on the ground working with our immigrant community, asking what they think will happen in this next administration.
It's a very tough thing to do. But you have to have, you have rules, regulations, laws. They came in illegally.
It's a campaign promise from incoming President Donald Trump. And during an interview with NBC's Meet the Press in December, he doubled down on his threat to deport people and families living in the United States without legal documentation.
I don't want to be breaking up families, so the only way you don't break up the family is you keep them together and you have to send them all back.
These comments creating fear, especially in the greater Sacramento area.
The fear of family separation is really having a significant impact. So parents have started disenrolling their children from benefits because they're so afraid.
Leaving many families with the question of how soon could this possibly happen.
Trump administration is likely to reach out to state and local governments to seek their assistance in enforcement during this deportation campaign.
Do you believe this will be a reality?
I think that we're going to see very tough immigration enforcement measures for the next 4 years.
During Trump's first administration, then Governor Jerry Brown signed SB 54 into law, banning state and local law enforcement from working with ICE with few exceptions. In a recent interview, Brown told ABC 10,
The subsequent legislation, I think, has taken it broader, and some of the cities, like San Francisco, have gone way, way beyond in their effort to create a wall, almost a separation of state and federal government. I think that is going to prove difficult.
Republican California Congressman Tom McClintock has supported Trump's plan for deportation and believes it would happen soon. He emphasized a focus on people with a criminal record.
I think you're going to see an orderly deportation that will start with the 500,000 illegal migrants who have criminal records who've been allowed into this country.
And when it comes to DACA recipients, Democrat California Congressman Ami Bera says he hopes there can be an agreement with his colleagues on finding a solution to keep them in the states.
Maybe they do a year, 2 years of service, Peace Corps, Teach for America, other things. But let's come up with a way to, many of these people have been in our communities for a long time, to allow them to have some peace of mind.
What is being done to prepare right now, and how are families preparing for what may or may not happen?
Know what agencies are available to assist you in the event that you get detained, and to always know that you have the right to have an attorney advise you on both the criminal and the immigration impacts.
All right, so Jeannie has been following this for us. And Jeannie, we know there are a lot of unknowns right now, but there has been legislation introduced in Congress relating to immigration, right?
Well, Alex, during my conversation with Congressman Tom McClintock, he did say he was going to introduce a series of bills that would support deportation orders. And just last week, a bill was introduced with him as a co-sponsor that would authorize Homeland Security to suspend the entry of people at borders without proper documentation. Again, there are resources here locally through UC Davis Law Immigration Clinic for people who may be impacted. Alex.
All right, Jeannie, thank you so much. And coming up a little bit later in this show, we'll have more on Trump's cabinet nominees facing hours of questioning on Capitol Hill, why climate change was a top issue today. And we are continuing to track those wildfires in Los Angeles tonight. Officials say the number of confirmed fatalities have now risen to 27. Firefighters are gaining control in the two largest fires, the Palisades and Eaton fire, with help from calmer winds. More than a week after the fires began, the thousands of people who evacuated are not yet allowed back to their neighborhoods. Officials say the fire zone is just still extremely dangerous.
The repopulation of residents in the evacuation order areas will not occur for at least one more week for the areas that are deemed safe.
State Farm Insurance has announced that it will offer insurance renewals even to some homeowners it previously planned to drop. LA's mayor calling this encouraging news and hopes other insurance companies follow suit. Today, California lawmakers announced legislation to help in Los Angeles County recovery efforts. The legislation aims to stop new building standards, accelerate state permit review for reconstruction, expedites construction of ADUs in coastal zones, keep displaced Californians housed, and prohibit evictions to allow those who are displaced to remain in their temporary homes.
There will be exceptions, of course, for those changes that must be made to safeguard public health and safety, improve wildfire resiliency, and harden our homes. But this will also prohibit local governments from imposing burdensome regulations that will get in the way of building back at a time when we all need to pull together and rebuild our communities and demonstrate what Los Angeles and California is capable of.
Governor Gavin Newsom also announced today that the Los Angeles region will receive $20 million in funding from the Biden-Harris administration to support those who suffered job losses. Amid the wildfires in Los Angeles, Governor Gavin Newsom has deployed more than 15,000 personnel, including thousands of firefighters. Some of them are currently incarcerated. Tonight, Ariane Till with our National Verify team is looking into claims about how much they get paid and their futures after the fires.
The California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation says more than 1,100 incarcerated firefighters are actively assisting CAL FIRE. These crews, which are part of a volunteer program offered through the CDCR, use tools to aid in wildfire suppression, but don't respond to fires in residences. We verified a couple of claims circulating on social media about these firefighters. First up, are incarcerated firefighters paid around $10 per day? That's true. Incarcerated firefighters generally earn between $5.80 and $10.24 per day, based on their skills. But according to CDCR, those deployed to active emergencies like the LA wildfires make more. For example, for one 24-hour shift during an active emergency, firefighters at the lowest skill level would earn about $30 per day. CDCR says that most incarcerated firefighters in the program also qualify for time off their sentences. Next up, some people claim formerly incarcerated firefighters can't get professional firefighting jobs in California upon release. That's false. In September 2020, California Governor Gavin Newsom signed a law that makes it easier for formerly incarcerated firefighters to seek jobs as firefighters upon release. The law allows former nonviolent fire program firefighters to get their criminal records expunged so they can apply for some firefighting jobs. With your Verify, I'm Ariane Till.
And there has been a tidal wave of misinformation about the wildfire fight in Los Angeles. We have been debunking claims that have been made. Right now on our ABC 10 Plus streaming app, you can find our newest special called California Fires Fact Check. The app is free to download on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, or wherever you stream. All you have to do is just look for California Fires Fact Check on the home screen. Still ahead, a warning about an increase in car-related crimes, how police say that you can protect yourself.
Warm daytime highs, but cold overnight lows. Will this temperature trend continue? I have your answer after the break.
Plus, the latest efforts to finalize the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. All right, so if you're heading out to that Kings game tonight, you might want to bring a jacket because it's been kind of chilly outside.
It's been really cold. Our morning lows have been near freezing, and we're seeing a lot of frost out there on the grass, on the rooftops. It is continuing, as we've seen it pretty much every morning this week. We're going to see that patchy overnight fog also for some areas. Shouldn't be too bad, though, but mostly just that frost. The lows are going to continue in the mid-30s, and we're going to be looking at dry and sunny weather continuing for our weekend ahead as well as even into next week. Unfortunately, we're not seeing any storm systems in sight as high pressure systems continue to dominate. That's pushing everything along the jet stream up and over the highs, building that ridge there, and then letting it funnel down toward areas of the Midwest. We're really just not going to expect to see any kind of wet weather, at least so far, for the next 10 days out. Our frost advisory is in effect near the Bay Area and portions of the Delta, but for us in the Valley and foothills, no frost advisory. Just anticipate cold mornings start with areas of frost potentially on your rooftops and on that grass. Now, we could see a shot at seeing a low pressure system or a trough digging into portions of Southern California just on the edge there. And if that happens Monday to Tuesday, we may see some winds picking up from the east, those Santa Ana winds towards Southern California again. So not good news in Southern California when they're fighting those wildfires and trying to contain all of that. We'll still see some more winds potentially picking up Monday to Tuesday. For us, that high pressure is building and continuing to keep dry conditions overhead. Meanwhile, moving toward the following weekend, we're still going to continue building that ridge. It's still going to be very warm overhead, as well as clear and sunny. Now, as we look at our temperatures expected in our foothill spots, you're looking at Groveland, Sonora, Angels Camp right around the upper 50s and low 60s. But overnight lows continue in the mid 30s, a little higher up. Arnold and Twain Harte right around the low 30s. Bay Area temperatures are going to be in the upper 50s, low 60s. We'll continue that trend into the weekend. And for us in the Valley for your Friday, we'll be looking at those temperatures in the low 60s. Modesto at 60 with 37 overnight. Turlock 34 degrees overnight and into the weekend right around the mid 50s. Now moving into next week, you can expect our temperatures to be pretty similar. Maybe a couple days in the mid 50s, but otherwise we'll continue the trend with upper 50s, low 60s. The average though this time of year is around 55 degrees, so we're slightly above average, and our overnight lows will still be chilly right around those mid to upper 30s.
Next on To The Point, a famed cartoonist arrested for child sex abuse material, the role AI played, and how a new law is criminalizing this type of material. Plus, a local police department's warning about car-related crimes, what you can do to protect yourself. Car-related crimes can take just a few minutes, but set you back thousands of dollars. And tonight, Tracy police are sounding the alarm about an increase. ABC 10's Gabriel Porras has the story and what police say that you can do to try to prevent it.
Angie Perez had no warning before going to sleep one night.
I didn't hear the car alarm go off.
And by the time she woke up, no tires.
And we walk out and my car's on bricks and the window's smashed. We came down to inspect it. They had left all the lug nuts. They didn't know how to place the bricks underneath my car. It messed up my fender and they had also had to replace the door.
Now, weeks after the nearly $9,000 theft, no answers.
Because I had just gotten the car in July, so I was really upset.
But it's not just Angie's car. All the glass that you see on the ground are remnants of another person victimized. It's happening so often that police tonight are sending out a message to the community.
Going back to about December 1st, we've had 10 different incidents of wheels and rims being stolen from, it's not just a one-off crime. You just don't decide, wake up one day, like, I want to go steal some tires and rims, because there's a lot of tools and heavy lifting.
From what we've seen so far, I would say a handful, maybe up to like 8.
8 different cases of tire thefts near Angie and Cindy Cruz's apartment complex in just the past month.
I know a lot of these crimes have been happening like apartment complexes. Encourage the management of your apartment complexes to have security.
Angie now has new tires, but reflecting on what's been happening, still no peace of mind.
We have considered moving, but everything's expensive right now.
Now police are hoping to raise awareness so it doesn't happen to anyone else.
The wheel lug nut lots, those are available sometimes. Park in a well-lit area. Have cameras if you can. Just be a good neighbor, keep an eye out for everybody else too.
In Tracy, Gabriel Porras, ABC 10.
Sorry, this kind of stuff just really gets under my skin. I hate to see this happen to people, but police say another key part in preventing this is having proper data and also make sure that you report it so that they can investigate it. So if it does happen to you, make sure you tell officials. All right, fire officials are investigating what led up to a deadly house fire in Sacramento overnight. It happened on Rio Loma Way off San Juan Road in South Natomas. When crews arrived there were heavy flames coming from the first and second floors. Firefighters say they found a person dead in the house and the cause is still under investigation. A Pulitzer Prize-winning cartoonist is behind bars tonight, accused of possessing child sex abuse material, including AI images and videos. The Sacramento County Sheriff's Office arrested 49-year-old Darren Bell Wednesday morning. This video of Bell is from an interview that he did with ABC 10 back in 2023 about a book that he wrote. His arrest came after receiving a tip from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. At Bell's home, detectives recovered evidence related to the case as well as AI-generated material. The sheriff's office says this is the first arrest that the agency has made since a new law known as AB 1831 went into effect on January 1st, criminalizing the possession of this type of material.
The rise of artificial intelligence and deepfake technology, the technology has made it possible and cheap and easy to create highly realistic pictures and videos of child sexual abuse material that can be virtually indistinguishable from real children.
The assembly member says families can protect their kids by monitoring what they share on social media and keep accounts private. As for Bell, he is being held on a $1 million bail and is scheduled to make his first court appearance on Friday. Today, nurses all across the country are taking part in a national day of action. This was the scene outside of the Kaiser in South Sacramento just this morning. Nurses are rallying for better working conditions. They're also voicing their concerns about the use of artificial intelligence and its possible impact on patient care. To be clear, this was not a strike, and the nurses are doing all of this off the clock, so there are no impacts to patient care. And we reached out to Kaiser for a statement. It reads in part, artificial intelligence tools don't make medical decisions. Our physicians and care teams are always at the center of decision making with our patients. All right, now to the latest on the Israel-Hamas ceasefire deal. New tonight, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says a deal to return Hamas-held hostages in the Gaza Strip has been reached, and it comes after there was a last-minute snags in the finalizing of this ceasefire deal. Netanyahu says government officials will convene to approve the deal. A 6-week ceasefire is expected in the first phase of the deal, with Hamas likely to release 33 hostages, including American Keith Siegel.
I can't allow myself to raise expectations until I'm giving Keith a hug.
Phases 2 and 3 still have to be negotiated, and if they are, we could see a permanent end to this war. Turning now to the Trump transition, a busy day at the Capitol as more President-elect Trump's cabinet picks are starting their confirmation hearings. They include a former congressman, a billionaire Trump donor, and the former governor of North Dakota. Here is Perry Russum with more.
With President-elect Trump taking office in days, his cabinet nominees on Capitol Hill working to win Senate confirmation. Former Congressman Lee Zeldin is Trump's pick to run the Environmental Protection Agency.
Do you agree with President-elect Trump that climate change is a hoax?
I believe that climate change is real, as I told you. As far as President Trump goes, the context that I've heard him speak about it was with a criticism of policies that have been acted because of climate change, and I think that he's concerned about the economic costs of some policies where there's a debate and a difference of opinion between parties.
I would respectfully disagree with you. I think he has called it a hoax time and time and time again.
Former governor of North Dakota Doug Burgum is the nominee for Secretary of the Interior. Once considered to be on the short list for Trump's VP, he would oversee the development of energy supplies on public land and water.
America produces energy cleaner, smarter, and safer than anywhere in the world. And when energy production is restricted in America, it doesn't reduce demand. It just shifts productions to countries like Russia and Iran.
Scott Bessent facing questions as he works to become the Treasury Secretary. He is a South Carolina billionaire, Trump donor, and advisor.
Are there any specific policies proposed by the president-elect that you expect will increase prices for families?
There's nothing I can immediately think of.
So that's a no. If the president-elect were to propose a policy that you believe will increase prices, would you advise against it?
I would speak to President Trump about it. It is his decision.
And today, Trump also named what he calls special ambassadors to Hollywood. They are actors Jon Voight, Mel Gibson, and Sylvester Stallone. Trump says that they help him bring more business to Hollywood. And also coming up on Monday, ABC will have a special coverage of President-elect Trump's second inauguration. You can watch starting at 6:30 a.m. right here on ABC 10 Plus. Of course, we'll also be streaming it on our free ABC 10 Plus app. All right, next on To the Point, a new area code coming to Northern California. The number you could see giving you a call soon. Before we go here tonight, parts of Northern California are set to get a new area code at the end of the month. The CPUC says a new 837 area code will be added as an overlay to the 530 region. So the 530 area code currently services most of the northeastern part of the state, including Butte, El Dorado, Placer, Plumas, Shasta, Solano, and Yolo counties. Anyone with the 530 area code may receive a number in the 837 area code when they get new service or add an additional line. The CPUC says that the telephone numbers that you have right now, though, those will not be changing. As always, thank you so much for spending part of your day with us. If you have something that we should be looking into, you already know what to do. Reach out to me and the team. To the Point doesn't end here. You can always stream us for free. Hey, it's Alex. I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. The To The Point team and I love hearing from you, and I hope that you'll stay in touch. And don't forget, you can always email me and the team at tothepoint@abc10.com, or you can even send us a text message at 916-321-3310.